Good morning, everybody. Hope you're okay and you're having a good start to your weekend. I'm going to do a share this morning about the difference between spiritual awakenings and Kundalini awakenings. And there is a difference. They both serve a very similar purpose and a very different purpose. So with a spiritual awakening, we will all go through them. It does not matter whether you're spiritual or not, because everybody's actually spiritual. It's just whether you're actually living and practicing it, or whether it's an internal job. But we all are on a spiritual path of some form or another. And with spiritual awakenings, we can have them spontaneously, or they can be activated through things like meditation, Kundalini yoga, retreats, going inward. The difference with a Kundalini awakening is that they are far more intense. It's to do with the serpent at the base of the spine, the coiled up energy that we all have. It's all our latent talents, it's all our gifts, it's all the energy that we have to be our highest good, our highest purpose, to fulfill everything that our soul's mission is here to fulfill. And it's curled up at the base of the spine, and it can activate again through similar means as a spiritual awakening, through different practices, spiritual practices, or again it can be spontaneous. But the difference is with a spiritual awakening, it tends to be a lot slower and a lot less intense. That does not mean it's not intense. You usually know something's going on for you because it feels very powerful, very emotional. You start to have repressed memories come up. You start to look at the world in a different way, but it's a slower process. A Kundalini awakening is very fast, it's extremely intense. We also can get physical symptoms from Kundalini and spiritual awakening. So careful, I'm not here diagnosing what you've got or what you haven't got. That's not my job. But we can have quite a lot of physical symptoms. So for example, for me, when I've had particularly more Kundalini awakening, I can be very bloated in my abdomen, and there's spiritual links for me as to why it's my abdomen, what I'm protecting on a female spiritual level. But we can go through certain processes. I'll have burning of the heart chakra. It feels like intense heat burning, and it's rapid, and it will come on really intensely. Doesn't feel like heartburn, it feels energetic, but it's a similar kind of thing. Soul spiritual awakenings, we tend to not have so obvious physical symptoms, but it is part of the process of burning off old energy. So as we awaken through whichever form, we are actually bringing in more light codes into our system, into our DNA. We are able to hold more light, which is why we vibrate higher. But in order to hold that extra light, the codes and the activation that's going on, we have to really nurture our body. Spiritual awakenings, Kundalini awakenings, are not just an emotional and soul thing, it's a physical thing too. So we have to drink tons, gallons of water to be able to allow the body to withstand the changes that are going on, because it's, to me, a bit like a massive hangover when we're going through the physical changes of a spiritual awakening. You feel rough, you feel lethargic, you feel tired, you feel grumpy, because the body is trying to reacclimatize. In a Kundalini awakening at a very, very rapid rate, the body is changing, the DNA is changing. On a soul awakening, it's a slower process, it's more gradual. So we start to notice changes within us. We might put it down to the environment we're in that we're having physical changes. But if you look a bit deeper sometimes there's something more going on. So I've had lots of Aztec colours in my eyes before, where I thought, I'm having a migraine, I can't see, and it went on for about 2 hours. One particular one that was very rapid, a Kundalini awakening. I was freaking out. There's all kinds of things wrong with me. I don't have migraines, I don't have issues with my eyes, but I couldn't see for 2 hours, and then it went as soon as it came. And it was almost like my perception, my vision of life was different thereafter. So it can be blatant, it can be subtle, but know that we are all here to ascend. We are all here to reach our highest goal. We are all here to shift from a human life to a soul life. And it's through these processes of Kundalini and spiritual awakening that we have them. Again, you don't have to be actively spiritual or thinking spiritual stuff to have a spontaneous Kundalini awakening, or the soul decides that it needs to start growing, because our physical body ages every year. Our soul does it in fits and bursts, a bit like growth spurts. And so when the soul decides it's going to have a rapid acceleration, you have no choice in the matter other than to do your level best to house it and support it as you go along. You go with the flow or go against the flow with a spiritual awakening. It's going to happen. It's a blessing. Might as well go with it, because you are changed thereafter forever, and you are more closely aligned with your soul and your real purpose as to why you're here.